Hey y'all, it's Alex from You Should Craft, and today we'll be crocheting this striped mug cozy. So we'll be building on our lesson from yesterday and making stripes by changing colors at the end of the row. The mug cozy is super easy. It uses all half double crochets, and then it has this cute button accent, which can help you get your cozy on and off of your mug because it can just slide off, and then there's a little spot for the handle. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about with yesterday, and you are a newer crocheter, then I invite you to sign up for my Newbie Series. It's 30 days long. Every day you'll get a new tutorial or a pattern to help you learn how to crochet. But I'll throw the link in the description below. So anyway, let's talk about the materials we'll need for our mug cozy. So you'll need 2 colors of acrylic worsted weight yarn. I'm using Brava in Marina, which is this kind of pretty teal color, and then Dove Heather, which is this lighter gray color. You'll also need an H 5mm crochet hook. This is from the Bright set from We Crochet. And you'll also need 1 small button, about like 1/2 inch to 1 inch across, and it doesn't really matter like what kind it looks like. One time I bought this thing from Amazon that was like a pound of colored buttons. And so those are the buttons that I just use for everything. On mine, I use kind of this like flower button. And I think for this next one, I'm going to use this like, I guess it's also a flower, but like it has more petals on it. But again, pick whatever button you think is coolest or cutest or the most plain, whatever you're going for. And then you'll also need scissors and a tapestry needle. So, all right, let's get started. All right, so last time I used my gray color for the body, like the main portion. But this time I'm going to use my teal. So this color is called Marina, but you can use whatever color you want. You can use as many colors as you want. I'm just using 2 though. But so I made my slip knot. I set up my yarn in the way that's comfortable for me. And now I'm going to chain 33. So go ahead and pause the video and finish up your starting chain. Again, you should have 33 chains. So in order to create the bottom, the part of the mug cozy that goes like underneath the handle, that's just a straight up chain. So that means that we need to set it up like we're going to crochet in the round. So I have my finished starting chain with 33 chains. I want to make sure that it's straight, but I'm going to join to the first chain with a slip stitch. So if you remember from our continuous rounds day, you crochet a slip stitch by yarning over and just pulling through all the loops on your hook. And then I find that it looks cleaner if I crochet into the back bumps. That makes the bottom of my project look just like the top. So if you look at this, you can see that on the base, there are these V's, which matches how it looks at the top of the cozy. And it turns out there was a little bit of water left in my mug. But you don't have to crochet into the back bumps, but I find that it gives me a much cleaner look. So anyway, we're half double crocheting. So I've joined my chain. I'm chaining 1, and then I will yarn over and into that first back bump, I'm going to put a half double crochet. So you can see it. I've got my half double crochet. I'm yarning over, and I'm going to do this all the way, well, almost all the way around. I'm actually going to stop at 30 though, which will leave a couple of extra chains. And that's what I was talking about, that like little line underneath the handle. So that helps keep our mug cozy on the mug, but doesn't get in the way of the handle. So you can just continue to half double crochet around. And remember, we're stopping when we have 30 half double crochets. So you should still have a couple of extra chains left over. And so I'll catch back up with you when we're getting to the end to show you what it will look like. All right, so I'm about to put in my 30th half double crochet. Don't forget to count your stitches after each row. There are so many times where I have been working on a project and then I'm like, gosh, this doesn't seem right. And then I count it and it's like several rows back. I missed a stitch. So even the most experienced crocheters can miss stitches. So always make sure you're counting. I counted this before I started, so you don't have to sit for like 30 seconds while I count. But so I've got 30. You'll notice that I have this like little, maybe a 1/2 inch section of chain that does not have any stitches. And that's on purpose. So here's my finished mug rug, and you can see that that's just the part that kind of like wraps around the bottom of the handle and holds my mug rug, or not mug rug, mug cozy in place. All right, so now I'm gonna continue to crochet in rows. So I will chain 1, turn my work, yarn over, and I'm just gonna half double crochet for 2 rows. So each of these rows will have 30 stitches in it, and it's just straight up like regular style half double crochets. And even though like our project is kind of round, we're not really crocheting in the round. So this is like just a row on top of a circle. And that is because we didn't finish, like we didn't go all the way around our circle. So you can go ahead and pause the video. Again, we're going to do 3 rows of whatever your starting color is. And then I'll catch back up with you to help you with the color change for our stripe. All right, so I am dropping down my very last half double crochet from row 3. And I already messed it up. Because remember, this is where we want to change colors. So don't finish that last half double crochet, just do the beginning part. So I'll show you again, since I kind of had to undo it, but you'll yarn over, insert your hook into both loops, yarn over and pull up that first loop, which leaves you with 3 loops still on your hook, and then trim your yarn. I know I say this in like every video, but I like to leave a tail of about 6 inches. Just so that I can weave it in. But so now set up your next color, again, leaving about 6 inches for weaving. And you yarn over with that color. For me, it's this kind of light gray. And I pull through all 3 of those loops. And then I use the like end tails to kind of tighten up my stitch. And I don't know why I'm saying kind of. I mean, you're like literally doing that. But so now I'll chain 1 because I'm just starting row 4 now. So I'll yarn over, insert my hook, and I'm just half double crocheting all the way around, just like I was doing before. So go ahead and finish up this row, and we are going to do 2 rows of gray. So finish this row, row 4, and then finish almost all of row 5, and then we'll change back to our teal marina color. All right, so I finished my 2 rows of gray. I'm about to put in my last half double crochet. And remember that we don't finish it. So you yarn over and pull up that first loop. And then when you have those 3 loops on your hook, you just trim your yarn, leaving like 6-ish inches. And then you get your next color, which for me is that kind of like tealish color. It's called Marina. So set up your yarn, again, leaving like 6-ish inches. I don't measure any of these, so my measurements could be like, you know, they're probably not super accurate, but you want to leave a tail that's long enough to weave in your ends and have them be secure. But so now I yarn over with my new color and pull through all 3 loops. And then I use those leftover ends to tighten it up. And my teal end was looking kind of short, so I pulled out some extra. But then you turn your work and you chain and just like proceed as usual. So half double crocheting, oops. And then just half double crochet all the way across. And just like on the bottom part, we're going to do 3 rows of this. So go ahead and pause the video and finish up the last 3 rows, but do not trim your yarn. I'll catch up with you at the end to show you what to do with it, because we're going to need to make this chained loop that connects to our button. So pause, finish up. Remember, we're doing 3 rows of your main color. Okay, so I finished up all the rows of the main part of my mug cozy, and I put in my very last stitch from row 8. So now I'm going to chain 17. So I've got my 17 chains, And so now I'm going to join it to the top of my last stitch / bottom of my chain with a slip stitch. So if you remember, we yarn over and then we pull through all the loops on our hook. And so that is it for that part. You'll trim your yarn, again, leaving a tail of like 6 inches, and then pull it all the way through. And so it looks a little like janky right now, but we're going to weave in our ends and that'll fix that. So insert your tapestry needle. And if you remember, I like to start by kind of going down the edge. Make sure that you keep your end weaving in whatever color like matches the tail that you're weaving in. So I wouldn't weave in my teal colored yarn into my gray section. But so now you can see that it's already starting to look a lot cleaner. So I'll just weave in the rest of my end. And something that happens when you do stripes is that you end up with like a lot of ends to weave in. So go ahead and pause the video so that you can finish weaving in your ends. You'll need to weave in all of them. So your starting tail, these ones over here from like changing colors of yarn. So get going on that. And I'll catch back up with you and we'll sew on the button and then we'll be done. All right, so I finished weaving in all my ends and now we're going to do kind of like a dry fit to see how it looks on our mug and also to figure out where we want to put our button. Depending on how loose your chains are, you might need to have your button like a little bit further out, which is totally not a big deal. But so mine looks like it can pretty much go right in the corner. So I'll take it off, get my button ready, and you want the color of yarn to match, well, I guess you do you. I want the color to match the base that it's on. So I'm just going to trim a short piece of yarn. And then I'll join my tapestry needle. And I'm just like literally going to sew on the button and then not the back of it. So if you have like a more preferred way of sewing on buttons, you can totally do that. But I'm like pretty low key, I guess. Like, for me, these are just like for me to use at my house. So it's just going to be me with them. If you're giving it as a gift or selling this in your Etsy shop or something, then like definitely make sure that your stuff is super secure, that you're like satisfied with the way that it looks. You don't want to give someone like a kind of a garbage finished product. So if you're using this for Etsy, then you might want to weave in these ends as well. You might want to make it look really nice. But what I'm going to do is I looped it through 3 times, so my button is secure. And I am just going to tie a knot. Pull it super tight. And then I'm going to trim my yarn. So I even left kind of a little bow But now you're done. So you can put your mug cozy onto your rug, loop it through the button, set it up how you want it, and that's it. So that is how you make this easy half double crochet mug cozy. Thank you so much for following along. Make sure to sign up for the Newbie Series if you're interested in beginner patterns and tutorials, and subscribe to the You Should Craft channel and check out the blog for more crochet stuff. But thanks for watching.